Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm not doing a review, I wanted to do another one of my fragrance informational videos that I told you I was going to start doing. So the last video that I did was all about concentrations, like eau de parfum versus eau de toilette, that sort of thing. And today's video I wanted to talk to you about where to apply fragrances and perfumes on your body, like what parts of your body to put them on to sort of make them project more and last longer. But before I get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of my subscribers. I always love when subscribers tell me that they've started their own fragrance channels or their own reviews, or that I've inspired them to just, you know, start doing that themselves. And one of my subscribers, his username is They Say I'm Crazy 24, sent me a message saying that he started his own review blog. So I checked it out and it was really cool, and it's, you know, he's just him talking about fragrances, reviewing products, and just enjoying it. So I just want to let you guys know about that. I'm going to put a link to his blog in the description box of this video in case you want to check it out. And again, I just want to encourage anyone, you know, if that's something you want to do, don't be afraid to do it. Just go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you now about where to apply fragrances. So some people like to spray them onto their clothing, while others like to spray them onto their actual skin. I would recommend spraying it onto your skin. That is where I like to spray it. And the reason I like spraying it directly onto my skin is because it allows the fragrance to evaporate in the proper way that it was meant to, and none of the ingredients or the notes get trapped in the fabric of your clothing. I find that sometimes when I have sprayed it onto my clothes, it really stays in the fabric all day, but I feel like it doesn't quite smell as it's supposed to. I feel like certain ingredients don't really come out as well. I think it's because the fabric just absorbs it and it doesn't evaporate properly. So it will, spraying it onto your clothing will sort of trap the scent and make you smell it all day, but what you're smelling may not be exactly how the fragrance was meant to be smelled. So I like to avoid that, and I like to spray directly onto my skin so it just mixes with, you know, my own skin chemistry, and there's nothing interfering with those notes coming out. So there's something called pulse points, and those are parts of your body where there is a lot of heat. And the reason is that heat helps to release fragrances. So when you spray the scent on these specific parts of your body, because a lot of heat is generated in that area, that causes the scent to be released and to sort of project off of your body more. So these parts of your body are just where there's a lot of blood flow. So your wrists have a lot of arteries going there, as well as the sides of your necks. So especially like in this area, sort of like behind your ear going down, and the same on this side. It's a very warm area. That's where you can feel your pulse, same with on your wrist. So these areas are warmer than other parts of your body. So if you spray your scent on these parts, it will help to release the scent more because of that extra heat. So even with this, there are still a few like tips, like variations, I suppose, depending on how strong your scent is, or how light it is, and also on the concentrations. So if you have a very light scent, and maybe, you know, it's a spring day, you have one of those nice light spring scents, one on the left side of your neck, one on the right side, and then also spray your wrist. Sometimes, depending on how light it is, I might spray the other wrist as well, so in the end I'll have 4 on me. 2 right here and then 2 right here. Now this is not the case for a lot of scents that are much stronger, because that's just going to be too much. So for scents that are very strong, what you could do is spray it very close to your wrist so that it's like a wet, like it's kind of got like a bit of a wet spot, and then just dab it on the side of your neck. And then you can again spray it on your right wrist and then just dab it on the side of your neck. So you sort of have like half a spray on each part of you, and it's in 4 spots that's going to help to project the scent, but you haven't put too much of it actually on, so it's not going to be too strong. So that's sort of a good way to help with stronger scents. An important tip is make sure not to rub the scent in. Like when I say dab, I mean like dab. Don't go like that. Never do like this either. I see a lot of people doing that, and the reason that's bad is because well, there's a couple reasons. When you rub them vigorously like that, you're damaging the fragrance oils that's in the scent, and also you're creating a lot of friction and a lot of heat, which is going to cause your scent to evaporate very quickly. So if you rub it in like that, there's a lot of heat on your wrist right now, and it's really going to start to smell, and you know, that could be a good thing because you want it to project, but I mean, the more heat you apply, the faster it evaporates, the shorter lived the scent is going to be, because it's going to evaporate so quickly. It's sort of like that saying, a candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. That's kind of the same with, you know, rubbing your scent. It's going to really release it, but it'll be gone soon, and then you'll be stuck with, you know, just base notes. So don't rub your scent like crazy, just dab it if you want to like spread it. Just if you want to get some onto your neck or like onto your forearm, whatever, just dab dab, not rub rub. You could also do this, like the spray and walk, which is like you spray it and like the mist is in front of you and then you can kind of like walk into it. Some people do that if they want just like more of like a mist of the scent, not really like, you know, a large amount. So you can do this, you know, during the summertime maybe. I typically don't. You know, when I wear a scent, I want to know that I'm wearing it, so I like to put, you know, a decent amount on. But you could do the spray and walk. One spot I don't like to spray it is actually like right here. Like some people spray like right on their chest, but I feel like when you do this, it sort of stays under your nose like all day. So every inhalation you take, you're smelling it, and I feel like that could, A, make you very used to the scent to the point where you don't smell it anymore, and that could lead you to spray more of it on. That's what I used to do, like a long time ago. I'd spray it here, and like I'd get, so like my body would just get used to the smell because I'm smelling it every second that I couldn't smell it anymore. So I'd be like, oh, it's already gone, I need more, and I'd put more on, and then I'd just be like, you know, a disaster. So don't put it here because it will trick you into thinking that you can't smell it anymore, and then you'll be smelling very strong because you'll be putting more and more on. Oh, and also, even if your body doesn't get used to it, you could just get annoyed with it. Like, I do have some scents that I really like, but if I spray them, like, you know, too close to my chest, I just keep smelling them, and I get sick of them. I'm like, oh, I don't want to smell that anymore. Like, I just want to shower it all off. So I feel like when you put it on the sides of your neck, it's sort of, it doesn't stay under your nose. You're not smelling it all day. And whenever you move, like left or right, you kind of get a whiff of it every now and then. And I think that's perfect because you're not going to get sick of your scent. It's not too much. You're not going to get too used to it. You just smell it every now and then. And I think it's perfect that way. Same with on your wrist, because like whenever you move, you're kind of waving the scent around a bit. So that creates sort of like an aura, like a little bubble of fragrance around you that I think is really what you want. At least that's what I want. Another sort of like pulse point that will help to project your scent is actually your elbows, like right inside there, because there's a lot of blood flow in veins there. And I haven't really done that, but I just started doing like recently, like I'd spray it like right there and just kind of like, you know, leave it. And that really does make the scent come out. Like I didn't think it would, but because of the arteries and veins there, it really does help to project the scent even more. So that's also a tip. If you don't want it on your wrists or, you know, here, you can try putting it on your elbows, and that'll help to, or sorry, not your elbows, like the in part of your elbow. I don't even know what to call that. But that part, the inside part. Oh, another, okay. So I like to do all this before I put my shirt on. Like I like to, you know, do everything before I put my clothes on, just so it all lands like on my skin, not like, you know, some here, some gets here. I like it to all just be on my skin, and then I sort of just give it like, you know, 20 seconds just to sort of like dry a bit, and then I'll put my shirt on. So it's all sort of like on my skin, a bit underneath, not on my shirt. What you could do after you put your shirt on is spray it actually like down your back. So you have your shirt on, you spray it down the back, and you kind of just feel it go down like your spine, and that it sort of keeps the scent surrounding you, like underneath your shirt. And I've tried that like many times before, and it really does help to keep the smell. So it kind of like comes out a bit of like your collar, but it's all like trapped inside you. And I feel like when you take your shirt off at the end of the day, it releases that spray that's sort of been like around your body. and it's as if you sprayed it again. Like I think it was Fancy. I had Fancy like down my back, and then when, at the very end of the day I took my shirt off and I could just smell like caramel and like Jessica Simpson, and it was really nice. So that's a little trick to help like keep it like, to make it last longer, to spray it down your shirt once you've put your shirt on. Okay, so in terms of clothing, like I said, I don't like spraying it on my clothes because it sort of traps the scent, it makes it last like all day, but it smells a little off. Also, be warned that spraying fragrances on your clothing, certain fragrances on certain fabrics can cause staining. So, I mean, it's white fabrics basically, like a white shirt. If you spray a certain fragrance directly on, like some people spray like their collars or they spray like just their clothes everywhere, it can stain. Most scents won't do this, but certain ones, if they have different like, you know, dyes and stuff in them, can cause discoloration on your white shirts. So that's another reason that I don't like to do that. There's one scent in particular, it's by Juicy Couture, it's Dirty English for men. That one even comes with a disclaimer saying, don't spray this on your white clothes, it will stain. So, you know, just be careful with certain scents. If you are like a clothing sprayer, I would recommend, you know, don't spray it on the clothes. Sometimes, I mean, a little mist is fine. I occasionally have done that, like I'll be ready to go and I'll just do like one last, I'm already, like it's already on me, but I'll just do like one last spray in front of me and then just kind of like walk into it so it just kind of lands on me. That won't stain, and you know, that's just sort of like adding a little bit more to your overall scent, not really like relying on that spray, it's just like adding a little touch more. So that's okay. Actually, one piece of clothing that I do sometimes spray is my scarf. So I have like a black scarf and like a dark purple scarf, so they're not really at risk of being stained. And sometimes after I put everything on, I'll just kind of like hold the scarf and like spray it like 1, 2 and just kind of like wave it around in like the scent and like put it on. And I like that because whenever I get to where I'm going, I'll like take my scarf off and it's like this cloud of fragrance that is like released. And then later on, whenever I put my scarf back on, it's like I'm reapplying my fragrance because I can smell it, because the scarf really like absorbs it and just traps it all. And so when you put it on again, I can like smell it again as if I'm just like being wrapped in it. So I like doing that because the scarf is not on me all day. It's just, you know, on me when I'm going out and about. So I'm fine to have that sprayed. It's just I don't like having like my shirt sprayed because then it's like permanently there. So I would recommend spraying your scarf to have something that will smell all day but won't be on you all day. What else to say? Another like little secret spot could be behind your ears, like just like right there, because again you have like, it's like a warmer area. That's good for like when you have like a parfum, like the concentrated fragrances that I talked about before. They usually come in like the little splash bottles. That one's good to put like right there. You can just put like a bit on your finger and just kind of like dab it right there and like put some right there. So that's good because that's, again, away from your face, but it's kind of projecting for other people to smell. And you can still smell it too, but not, you know, constantly. Okay, so I think that's all I'll say for today on that topic. So yeah, I hope you guys found that helpful. I'll do a quick summary because I love summaries. So if you have a light scent, I would suggest one spray on the right side of your neck, one spray on the left side, and then either one wrist or 2. With a heavier scent, don't spray it anywhere here because it might get in your face, so just spray it directly on your wrist and then dab it onto the sides and then dab it onto the other side. Never rub your scent in, dabbing only. You can finish off your look by doing a you know, a spray and then a walk in to let it kind of just rain on you. Don't spray your clothes directly because it will get absorbed, stay in it for too long, and may not smell quite the same, and it can stain. So do it on your skin beforehand. Spray it down your back if you want something to sort of like last all day and have a little surprise when you take your shirt off at the end of the day. Spraying your scarf can be fun and help make the scent last because it's a piece of clothing that's not on you all the time, but you do wear it occasionally. And behind the ears as well if you have like a parfum. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say on that, guys. I hope you found that helpful. If you have some extra tips that I didn't mention or that I don't know about, you can put them in the comments and, you know, teach me a thing or two. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time for some more informational videos or fragrance reviews. Oh, hi, sorry, I'm back. One last thing before I go. I have a Twitter account now. I just made it the other day, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, you're more than welcome to. The main reason I got it is because I always come across fragrance, you know, information or new ones or whatever that I want to tell people about, but you know, no one really cares, but I figured you guys would care. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet to you my fragrance purchases when they happen, and any new fragrance news that I get that I think is kind of fun or whatever. So I'll put the link to my new Twitter account in the site or in the description box, and also on my Facebook page. Okay, that's it, guys.